Hey, good morning, fam. It's your boy Josh. Last night looked very familiar for these series with massive blowouts, which killed a lot of props. So maybe going with first half props in the first round is the best strategy going forward. These mismatches are definitely getting exposed. For example, most of the first half props for the Raptors-Sixers game hit even Yang's first half point prop, which is only 2.5. The Raptors are just too banged up and undersized to match up with the Sixers, so I'm only targeting first half props for the rest of the series. Maxey and Poole continue to be the X factors in their series, with the opposing teams having no answer for them. We should expect their props to get juiced even more. They are just too quick for the defenses, and a bright future lies ahead for both of them. And welcome back, Steph. Looks like he's starting to get his legs under him, and his minutes should continue to ramp up. It was good seeing him get back to form today. We have 3 more games today with our favorite track meet in the mix too, so let's get hunting. The Hawks at Heat has a 7-point spread and a 220 implied total. This is not the game. The Heat dominated in the first matchup, and I expect to see the same today. I'm surprised it's only a 7-point spread, to be honest. But maybe Vegas thinks that Trey won't shoot this poorly again. He was 1 of 12 from the field and 0 for 7 from 3. So he's definitely due for a bounce back spot here. However, we have seen him go cold a lot this year, and something we've talked about. And the Heat's defense is that good. But with that said, Trey's props are the lowest I've seen all year at 26.5 points and 2.5 3-point made, so we could consider those as mid-tier targets. He will have to chuck it from 3 today to keep the game close, but can he catch fire? That's the question. We have to monitor John Collins' props and minutes. Maybe they go up today as he only played 21 minutes in his first game back. He was very efficient in those limited minutes. Overall, I'm just not a fan of these Hawks guys today and will most likely fade all of them. I don't like picking on the Heat at all. The Heat are just too good and well coached, which is not ideal for the prop world. We want teams that have holes or weaknesses and ball-dominant guys, and the Heat are none of that. So it's always risky targeting their players and opponents. But maybe we could get on some first-half props if we think it blows out again, like Jimmy Butler and Kyle Lowry's fantasy points. Depending on his PRA line, we could also consider Tyler Hero's first-half PRA, but he's playing less minutes recently, so that is risky. However, I don't think Duncan Robinson shoots 8 of 9 from 3 again today, so maybe Hero picks up some of the scoring and earns more minutes as a result. But overall, I still think it's risky. The T-Wolves at Grizzlies has a 7-point spread and a 241 implied total. Now, this is the game. The first matchup did not disappoint, and it was a track meet shootout, and I expect the same thing today. Cat actually kept his hands to himself surprisingly, and hopefully he can repeat that today. If he does, then we can go right back to his fantasy points. Steven Adams had no answer for him, and he was way too slow for Cat and could not defend him on the perimeter. So I expect another big game for Cat today. Cat's rebound prop is also very low at 9.5, so that's in play if you don't want to sweat such a large fantasy point total, which I imagine will get juiced to around 48 or 49. Anthony Edwards dominated the shot volume and usage with almost a 30% usage rate, and he played over 40 minutes. So his fantasy points are definitely live if it opens around 38. Patrick Beverley was very active on defense again, and he was very effective on offense too. So he could target his fantasy points as well. D'Angelo Russell was ice cold in that game, but he could bounce back today. His minutes definitely depend on his shooting. So if he goes cold again, then he will lose out on key minutes to guys like Prince and Beasley. The T-Wolves bench is just too deep for scoring. Thus, he is more of a risky fringe play. Morant did everything he could to get his team back in that game. He lived on the free throw line, which is no surprise since the T-Wolves finished the season as number 1 for the most free throws allowed. So we could consider his free throw prop if it opens around 5 again. He will be aggressive and attack the paint all night against foul-happy guys like Cat and Vanderbilt. But Morant will also fill the stat line, especially in a crucial game like this one where the Grizzlies must win on their home court. I just think Morant will do whatever it takes to make sure they win today, and I do think they will. Desmond Bane was behind Morant, Jaren Jackson, and Dillon Brooks in terms of usage in that game, but his point prop has dropped all the way to 18.5, which is pretty low for him. He could get hot from 3 and have increased usage as a result. His scoring will be needed today in order for the Grizzlies to pull up the win. Jaren Jackson was second in usage, and he finished the game with 7 blocks, which is just insane. If he can stay out of foul trouble, then I like his fantasy points. Dillon Brooks' fantasy points is also in play since he was 3rd in usage and he played big minutes. Just lock and load this game. The Pelicans at Suns has a 10-point spread with a 222 implied total. The Pelicans are just completely outmatched, and they put up only 99 points in that first outing. Also, it's really hard to choose who will be the primary playmaker between CJ and Ingram. Therefore, it's too risky to target them in my opinion, but it's only a 3-game slate, so I get it. I just think I'll have most of my target shares from that track meet, but we did see J Val go Wilt Chamberlain mode on the glass, so his 12.5 rebounds could be in play. On the Suns side, I will primarily target first half props due to the blowout potential. Chris Paul's fantasy points and Devin Booker's real points will be key targets. We could also consider Ayton's first half props too, but I wouldn't play all three in the same card for their first half props. I'll try to mix and match one or two of their first half props with 3 targets from the track meet game. And Chris Paul's assist prop is always live when it's less than 11, but he can go attack mode at any time during the playoffs like we saw in game 1. So let's recap our favorite targets. First, Morant's fantasy points or free throws made. Second, Cat's fantasy points or 9.5 rebounds. Third, Anthony Edwards fantasy points. And fourth, Chris Paul's first half fantasy points or 10.5 assists. Fifth, Jaren Jackson's fantasy points. And lastly, Devin Booker's first half 13.5 points. I'm really excited to watch this track meet again between the T-Wolves and Grizzlies. I think the Grizzlies come out very hungry with some sense of desperation, so I will definitely go heavy on their targets. What do you guys think? Do the T-Wolves surprise us again, or do the Grizzlies reclaim their home court? Let us know in the comments section below. I think the slate will be much better than the last 2 slates, so let's have a bounce back night, and come join us on our live stream later today at 4 p.m. Eastern. Me and Gunn will go prop hunting together. As always, best of luck everyone. I hope you crush it, and take care.